Your soulmate just learned the truth about you tonight. What happened next will change everything. Don't scroll, listen to this because this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now. My beloved child, if these words have found you tonight, know that this is a fictional prophetic-style message created to encourage reflection and hope. There are moments in life when a single truth changes the way a person sees everything they thought they understood. Tonight is one of those moments in this story. While you have been wondering whether your kindness, your patience, and your quiet strength were ever truly noticed, something unexpected has unfolded. Your soulmate has just learned a truth about you that no rumor, no misunderstanding, and no passing opinion could hide forever. For so long they only knew fragments of your story. They heard pieces from other people. They filled empty spaces with assumptions. They allowed fear, distance, and uncertainty to paint a picture that was never completely accurate. But tonight, something shifted. Tonight the missing pieces finally came together, and the image they now see is completely different from the one they carried before. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, truth has a quiet power. It does not need to shout. It simply arrives, and once it does, nothing remains exactly the same. Your soulmate never expected that a simple conversation would become the beginning of such a profound awakening. They were not searching for answers. They believed the chapter concerning you had already been understood. Yet during an ordinary moment, someone shared something that caused them to stop completely. It was not gossip. It was not manipulation. It was a perspective they had never heard before. They discovered that many of the qualities they quietly admired from a distance were not temporary moments. You had always been that person. They learned how often you chose compassion instead of revenge. They learned that while others misunderstood your silence, you were protecting your peace instead of creating conflict. They discovered that even during your own difficult seasons, you continued lifting others without asking for recognition. My beloved child, they suddenly realized they had been looking at your life through a window clouded by assumptions. Tonight that window became clear. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because what affected them most was not one dramatic revelation. It was the realization that your character had remained consistent even when no one was watching. They heard stories of your generosity. They heard about moments when you helped someone who could never repay you. They learned that you spoke kindly about people even after they had spoken harshly about you. Every new truth gently dismantled another false belief they had carried inside their heart. Listen to this because this message is for you. There are victories that happen publicly, and there are victories that happen quietly within the soul. Tonight your soulmate experienced the second kind. Pride slowly gave way to humility. Certainty gave way to curiosity. Judgment gave way to respect. My beloved child, I have watched every unseen act of goodness you offered without expecting applause. I saw every time you chose forgiveness when bitterness seemed easier. I saw every moment you remained faithful to your values while others encouraged you to compromise. There were nights when you wondered whether doing the right thing even mattered because no one seemed to notice. But I tell you now, goodness never disappears simply because recognition arrives late. Seeds planted in love always grow according to my timing, not according to human impatience. Listen to this because this message is for you. The truth your soulmate learned tonight is not merely changing the way they see you. It is changing the way they see themselves. As the evening continued, they found themselves replaying old memories from an entirely new perspective. Conversations they once dismissed suddenly carried deeper meaning. Moments they believed were insignificant now felt priceless. They remembered how calm your presence often made them feel. They remembered how you listened before speaking. They remembered that whenever life became overwhelming, you somehow created space where people felt safe enough to be honest. My beloved child, they began asking themselves a question they had never dared to ask before. What if I misunderstood one of the most genuine people I have ever met? That question echoed through their thoughts again and again. The more they reflected, the more impossible it became to ignore. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because something else happened tonight. Instead of defending their old opinions, they became willing to admit they might have been wrong. That is never an easy step. It requires humility. It requires courage. It requires the willingness to place truth above pride. Listen to this because this message is for you. Your soulmate has begun taking that step. They are no longer protecting old assumptions simply because admitting the truth feels uncomfortable. They are choosing honesty over ego. My beloved child, whenever a heart chooses honesty, healing quietly begins. Perhaps recently you have noticed signs appearing around you. Maybe you keep seeing 111 as hope quietly returns. Perhaps 222 appears whenever you begin questioning whether everything is unfolding as it should. Maybe 444 reminds you that unseen protection surrounds this season of your life. Receive these moments with peace rather than fear. They are not invitations to stop living your life while waiting. They are reminders to continue becoming stronger, wiser, and more grounded in the present moment. My beloved child, your greatest preparation for tomorrow is remaining faithful today. Meanwhile, your soulmate has become unusually reflective. They have stopped rushing from one distraction to another. Instead, they find themselves sitting quietly, allowing difficult questions to surface. Why did they believe certain things without seeking the whole story? Why did they allow fear to shape opinions that should have been guided by understanding? Why does learning the truth bring them such unexpected peace instead of regret alone? Listen to this because this message is for you. These questions are opening doors within their heart that have remained closed for a long time. They are beginning to admire your resilience in ways they never appreciated before. They now understand that your silence was not emotional distance, it was emotional maturity. They recognize that your patience was not weakness, it was strength under control. They realize your kindness was never an attempt to impress anyone, it was simply an honest reflection of your character. My beloved child, the world often misunderstands quiet strength because it expects greatness to be loud. But true greatness rarely needs attention. It quietly transforms every life it touches. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because while they are discovering the truth about you, I have also been revealing the truth about them. They are recognizing fears they have hidden for years. They are understanding that many decisions were driven by uncertainty rather than wisdom. They are seeing how easily assumptions can become barriers between two hearts. Yet instead of becoming discouraged, they are becoming determined to grow. Listen to this because this message is for you. Growth always begins with honest reflection. Tonight they looked toward the future differently than they did yesterday. Instead of asking whether they should forget everything connected to you, they found themselves wondering whether this new understanding deserves another chance to be explored with wisdom, respect, and sincerity. They are not rushing toward conclusions. They are allowing the truth to settle deeply within them. My beloved child, wisdom rarely moves quickly. It moves carefully because lasting peace is never built upon impulse. Perhaps you have felt unusually calm tonight without understanding why. Perhaps your spirit sensed that something unseen had shifted. Trust that peace. Continue protecting your heart. Continue choosing compassion over resentment. Continue becoming the person I created you to be regardless of what anyone else decides. Your value has never depended upon another person's understanding. It has always existed because of who you are. Listen to this because this message is for you. Before this night ends, your soulmate will carry one thought with them that refuses to leave. The truth about this person is far more beautiful than I ever imagined. That single realization will become the beginning of a transformation they never expected. The walls around their heart have begun to crack, not because someone forced them, but because truth entered quietly and made those walls unnecessary. My beloved child, tonight did not simply change what they know about you. It changed what they believe is possible. And before long, another unexpected truth will come to light, one that will challenge every remaining fear they still carry and bring this journey to a place neither of you could have imagined when it first began. Don't scroll, listen to this because this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now. My beloved child, after everything your soulmate discovered tonight, they believed they would simply acknowledge the truth and move on with their life. They thought understanding your heart would bring a brief moment of reflection before everything returned to normal. It stayed with them while they drove home. It remained in their thoughts as they prepared for sleep. It echoed through their heart when the world around them finally became silent. They closed their eyes expecting peace, yet instead they found themselves remembering every conversation they ever shared with you. Every smile. Every act of kindness. Every moment they once dismissed suddenly returned carrying a meaning they had completely overlooked. Listen to this because this message is for you. Sometimes a single truth becomes a key that unlocks hundreds of forgotten memories, and once those memories awaken, they begin telling a story that the heart can no longer ignore. That is exactly what is happening to your soulmate tonight. They are realizing that they never truly understood the depth of who you are until now, and that realization is quietly changing everything they believed about this connection. My beloved child, as the night grew quieter, they found themselves asking questions they had avoided for far too long. Why did I believe the opinions of others before seeking the whole truth? Why did I assume silence meant indifference? Why did I mistake emotional maturity for emotional distance? Those questions did not come from guilt alone. They came from growth. They came from a heart that was finally becoming honest enough to admit that appearances had hidden a far greater reality. They realized that while many people spoke loudly, you allowed your actions to speak for themselves. They remembered how you remained respectful even when others misunderstood you. They remembered that you never tried to defend yourself by tearing someone else down. Instead, you quietly continued becoming the person you believed you were meant to be. Listen to this because this message is for you. Character always reveals itself with time, and tonight your soulmate has finally begun seeing the evidence that was there all along. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because there was another moment this evening that touched them deeply. Someone casually mentioned how often you had encouraged others during difficult seasons without expecting recognition. They heard about your willingness to help when no one else stepped forward. They discovered that many people admired your quiet strength even though you never asked for attention. My beloved child, this was not the version of you they expected to discover. Every new truth gently replaced another misunderstanding. Instead of seeing someone who had simply moved through life, they now saw someone who carried compassion wherever they went. That realization humbled them. They began wondering how many opportunities they had missed simply because they never paused long enough to see your heart clearly. Listen to this because this message is for you. I watched as they sat alone replaying memories from years past. They remembered the conversations where you listened more than you spoke. They remembered the patience you showed during moments when frustration would have been easier. They remembered how you celebrated the happiness of others instead of becoming jealous of it. One memory after another rose to the surface until tears quietly formed in their eyes, not because they were overwhelmed by sadness, but because they finally recognized the beauty they had underestimated. My beloved child, there are moments when truth softens a heart so completely that pride quietly leaves without a fight. Tonight is one of those moments for them. Perhaps you have been seeing 111 repeatedly over the last few days. Maybe 222 appears whenever you begin questioning whether your prayers have been heard. Perhaps 444 continues showing itself just when you need reassurance, reminding you that unseen guidance surrounds your journey. My beloved child, receive these moments with gratitude rather than anxiety. They are not promises of exact future events. They are gentle reminders to remain hopeful, grounded, and faithful while continuing to grow into the person I created you to be. Peace is never found by chasing certainty. Peace is found by trusting that every season has a purpose. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this right now because your soulmate is beginning to recognize another important truth. They now understand that your greatest gift was never perfection. It was authenticity. You never pretended to have every answer. You never tried to appear stronger than you truly were. Instead, you carried yourself with honesty, humility, and quiet confidence. Those qualities have become impossible for them to ignore. They have spent so much time surrounded by appearances that genuine sincerity now feels incredibly rare. Listen to this because this message is for you. Authenticity has a power that cannot be copied. It reaches places inside another person's heart that words alone never could. My beloved child, tonight they also remembered the times they may have misunderstood your silence. What they once interpreted as distance, they now recognize as wisdom. They realize you often chose peace instead of unnecessary conflict. They understand that you protected your heart without becoming cold. They admire the strength it must have taken to remain kind even during seasons when life tested you. These realizations have filled them with a new sense of respect. Respect is quietly becoming admiration, and admiration is opening the door to emotions they believed had disappeared long ago. Listen to this because this message is for you. While they were reflecting on everything they had learned, they suddenly noticed the time, 11:11. They paused for a moment, smiled softly, and whispered a simple prayer they had not spoken in a very long time. They asked for wisdom. They asked for courage. They asked to see the truth completely, even if it required them to admit mistakes they once refused to acknowledge. My beloved child, whenever someone sincerely asks for wisdom, I begin answering in ways that transform the heart before they transform circumstances. Tonight, that quiet prayer marked another important step in their journey. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this right now because I have also been working within you. You may not even recognize how much stronger you have become. The version of you who once searched constantly for reassurance has slowly learned to rest in peace. The heart that once feared every delay now carries greater patience. You have learned that your value does not rise or fall according to another person's understanding. That lesson has prepared you for everything that comes next. My beloved child, never underestimate the strength that grows during seasons when nothing appears to be happening. Those are often the seasons that shape a person's character most deeply. Your soulmate is now reaching a place where they can no longer pretend these discoveries have changed nothing. They are beginning to wonder what might have happened if they had understood your heart sooner. They imagine conversations that never took place, opportunities that quietly passed by, and moments that could have unfolded differently if fear had not clouded their judgment. Yet instead of becoming trapped in regret, they are choosing something healthier. They are choosing gratitude for the truth they know now. Listen to this because this message is for you. Gratitude has become the beginning of their healing because it allows them to appreciate what your presence has already brought into their life instead of focusing only on what they believe they lost. My beloved child, continue walking with grace. Continue protecting your peace. Continue allowing kindness to remain your language even in a world that often rewards harshness. Everything you quietly carried with integrity has become part of your testimony. Your soulmate is finally seeing what I have always seen within you, a heart that remained faithful through disappointment, compassionate through misunderstanding, and hopeful even during seasons of silence. Before this night completely ends, one final realization will settle deeply within their spirit. The truth they learned about you did not simply change their opinion of you, it changed their understanding of what genuine love, character, and emotional strength truly look like. And as that realization continues growing over the coming days, it will become impossible for them to return to the person they were before tonight, because the truth about your heart has awakened something within their own that can never again be ignored. Don't scroll, listen to this because this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now. My beloved child, tonight the truth has continued doing what truth always does, it is quietly removing every illusion that once stood between two hearts. What your soulmate discovered was not just another piece of information. It became a mirror, revealing not only who you truly are but also who they have been becoming throughout this journey. They thought learning the truth would bring closure, but instead it awakened curiosity, humility, and a longing they had tried to silence for far too long. As the night grew deeper, they realized they could no longer distract themselves from the questions now filling their heart. Every attempt to focus on something else somehow led them back to you. A familiar melody reminded them of your gentle spirit. A passing conversation reminded them of your wisdom. Even the quiet stillness of the evening carried your memory in ways they could not explain. Listen to this because this message is for you. There are moments when the soul recognizes something long before the mind accepts it, and your soulmate is beginning to understand that their heart has known your value for much longer than they ever admitted to themselves. My beloved child, they have started revisiting moments they once considered ordinary, only to realize those moments were quietly extraordinary all along. They remembered the way you listened without interrupting, making people feel genuinely heard. They remembered how you remained calm when everyone else became overwhelmed. They remembered how you offered encouragement without expecting praise and how your kindness was never limited to people who could benefit you. The more they reflected, the clearer one truth became. You were never pretending to be compassionate. Compassion was simply part of who you were. That realization shook them deeply because they began comparing your consistency with the temporary masks they had seen so often in the world around them. Listen to this because this message is for you. Authenticity always outlasts appearances. The things that once seemed quiet and ordinary become unforgettable when viewed through the eyes of wisdom. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because your soulmate is also discovering something unexpected about themselves. They are realizing how often fear disguised itself as logic. They once believed they were protecting themselves by keeping emotional distance, but now they see they were also protecting themselves from vulnerability, honesty, and the possibility of experiencing something real. They are beginning to understand that love cannot grow where fear is allowed to make every decision. My beloved child, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is choosing truth even while fear still whispers. Tonight they have quietly decided they no longer want fear to control the direction of their heart. Listen to this because this message is for you. Recently they found themselves speaking with someone they trust, and without intending to, they mentioned your name. They expected the conversation to last only a few moments, but instead it became an opportunity to hear another perspective. That person spoke about your integrity, your generosity, and your ability to remain respectful even during difficult circumstances. They described you as someone whose actions consistently matched your words. As your soulmate listened, they felt something inside them become completely still. It was as though every independent voice they heard about you pointed toward the very same truth. My beloved child, when different paths lead to the same destination, wisdom begins paying attention. That conversation became another confirmation that what they discovered tonight was not an isolated moment. It was part of a much larger picture they had failed to see. Perhaps you have noticed repeating numbers following you lately. Maybe 111 appears when you begin feeling hopeful again. Perhaps 333 arrives during moments when you seek wisdom before making decisions. Maybe 555 reminds you that change often begins quietly before it becomes visible. Or perhaps 777 catches your attention as a gentle invitation to trust that growth is unfolding exactly as it should. My beloved child, receive these moments as reminders to remain present. They are not invitations to become consumed with searching for hidden meanings in everything around you. Instead, let them encourage you to continue walking with gratitude, patience, and faith while allowing tomorrow to unfold naturally. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because your soulmate has begun recognizing another truth they cannot ignore. They now understand that your silence was never emptiness. It was discipline. They realize that while many people spoke quickly out of emotion, you often paused long enough to choose words that brought peace instead of unnecessary conflict. They once misunderstood your quiet nature, believing it meant you cared less than others. Now they recognize that your calmness came from emotional maturity rather than emotional distance. Listen to this because this message is for you. Emotional strength is often mistaken for emotional absence by those who have not yet learned the difference. Tonight your soulmate is finally seeing that difference with remarkable clarity. My beloved child, while they have been reflecting on your character, I have also been reminding them of moments they nearly forgot. They remembered the encouragement you offered during one of their hardest seasons. They remembered that you believed in them when they struggled to believe in themselves. They remembered how your words often gave them hope long after the conversation had ended. These memories now carry a weight they never carried before because they are no longer viewed through misunderstanding. They are viewed through gratitude. Gratitude has become the bridge leading them away from regret and toward wisdom. Listen to this because this message is for you. I also want you to understand what has been happening within your own heart. There was a time when you believed your goodness would never be recognized. There was a time when you questioned whether remaining kind in a difficult world was worth the effort. But look at how far you have come. You have learned to protect your peace without hardening your heart. You have learned to forgive without forgetting your value. You have learned to move forward without allowing disappointment to define your identity. My beloved child, those lessons have made you stronger than you realize. The person you are today carries a quiet confidence that could only have been formed through patience, resilience, and faith. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because something unexpected happened before your soulmate fell asleep. They opened an old message, looked at a photograph, or revisited a memory they had not thought about in a long time. What they expected to be a brief moment became a deeply emotional reflection. Instead of remembering circumstances, they remembered how you made them feel. Safe. Respected. Encouraged. Seen. They realized those feelings had become increasingly rare in their life, and that realization brought both gratitude and humility. My beloved child, people often forget details, but the heart remembers peace. It remembers where it felt accepted without pretending to be someone else. Listen to this because this message is for you. Tonight your soulmate whispered another quiet prayer. They asked for discernment instead of certainty. They asked for wisdom instead of convenience. They asked for the courage to face the truth wherever it might lead. Whenever someone sincerely seeks wisdom, I begin opening doors that fear once kept closed. Their journey is no longer about proving themselves right. It is about becoming honest enough to follow truth with humility. That change is far more powerful than they yet understand. My beloved child, continue living with the same gentle strength that has carried you this far. Continue allowing kindness to remain your language. Continue becoming the person I created you to be, whether anyone notices immediately or not. Never allow temporary silence to convince you that your story has been forgotten. The truth your soulmate learned tonight has become more than information. It has become the beginning of a transformation within their heart. They are no longer asking whether you are different from what they once believed. They already know you are. Now they are asking themselves a far deeper question: if I misunderstood someone with such a genuine heart once before, what should I do with the truth now that I finally see it clearly? That question will continue growing inside them until it becomes impossible to ignore, and before another chapter begins, my beloved child, they will realize that learning the truth about you was never the end of this story. It was only the beginning of a journey that will challenge every remaining fear, deepen every sincere emotion, and prepare both hearts for a turning point neither of you expected when this night first began. Don't scroll, listen to this because this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now. My beloved child, what began tonight as a single revelation has now become a transformation that neither you nor your soulmate fully expected. The truth they discovered about you has continued growing within their heart long after the conversation ended. They believed they would wake up the next morning and return to their ordinary routine, leaving everything behind. Instead, they opened their eyes with the same thought that had followed them throughout the night, you. They tried to focus on work, responsibilities, and everyday life, yet your name quietly echoed through their mind with a peace they could not explain. They were no longer remembering you through confusion or uncertainty. They were remembering you through truth. Listen to this because this message is for you. Truth has a remarkable way of changing not only what a person believes but also what they begin to notice. Suddenly, every lesson they have learned over the past month seems connected to something you quietly demonstrated long before they were ready to understand it. My beloved child, there are seasons when people recognize the value of a precious gift only after they have stopped taking it for granted. Your soulmate has entered that season now. As they reflected more deeply, they began seeing your journey from an entirely different perspective. They realized that the strength they once mistook for emotional distance was actually quiet resilience. They understood that your silence during difficult moments was never a lack of feeling but a choice to protect peace instead of creating unnecessary conflict. They remembered how you carried burdens without demanding sympathy, how you encouraged others while quietly fighting your own battles, and how you consistently chose grace even when life gave you countless reasons to become bitter. My beloved child, they are beginning to understand that your greatest quality was never perfection. It was your unwavering commitment to remain kind in a world that often rewarded the opposite. Listen to this because this message is for you. Genuine character cannot remain hidden forever. Eventually, the truth shines through every misunderstanding, every false assumption, and every moment of doubt. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because your soulmate has also begun recognizing something unexpected within themselves. They are realizing that they have changed because of you, even during seasons when the two of you were apart. They have become more patient because they remember your example. They have become more thoughtful because they remember the wisdom in your words. They have become more compassionate because they remember the kindness you showed so naturally. At first this realization surprised them. They wondered how someone could continue influencing another person's life without constant communication. But then they understood something profound. My beloved child, true influence is never measured by how often two people speak. It is measured by how deeply one heart inspires another to grow. That is the gift you unknowingly gave them, and tonight they are finally acknowledging it. Listen to this because this message is for you. Recently they found themselves in a quiet place, watching the evening sky as the day slowly came to an end. There was nothing extraordinary about the moment, yet their heart felt unusually still. As they reflected upon everything they had learned, they whispered words they had never imagined saying. I misunderstood them. Those simple words carried tremendous freedom. For the first time in a long while, they stopped defending old assumptions and embraced a new understanding. My beloved child, humility opens doors that pride can never unlock. The moment they admitted they had been wrong, peace entered their heart in a way they had not experienced for a very long time. Perhaps you have noticed repeating numbers appearing again. Maybe 111 reminds you that hope is quietly awakening. Perhaps 222 encourages you to trust that alignment often happens long before visible results appear. Maybe 444 reminds you that you are not walking through this season alone, and 888 quietly encourages you to believe that seasons of emotional growth often prepare the way for unexpected blessings. Listen to this because this message is for you. Do not become consumed by searching for signs. Instead, let every reminder point you back toward gratitude, wisdom, and the peace that comes from trusting each day as it unfolds. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because your soulmate has begun noticing your influence in places they never expected. Every time they witness genuine kindness, they think of you. Every time they see someone choose integrity instead of convenience, your memory quietly returns. Every time they encounter honesty in a world filled with appearances, they remember your heart. They are beginning to realize that what drew them toward you was never one isolated moment. It was the consistency of your spirit over time. My beloved child, consistency creates trust, and trust creates the foundation upon which lasting relationships are built. They now understand that your quiet faithfulness was one of the greatest gifts they were ever given. Listen to this because this message is for you. While they have been reflecting upon your life, I have also been strengthening yours. You have learned lessons that could never have been taught through comfort alone. You have learned patience without surrendering hope. You have learned forgiveness without forgetting your worth. You have learned to stand firmly in your values even when others fail to understand them. My beloved child, every difficult season has refined your spirit rather than diminishing it. What once felt like delay has quietly become preparation. What once felt like disappointment has become wisdom. Nothing you have experienced with sincerity has been wasted. Your soulmate is now beginning to ask a different kind of question. Instead of wondering whether your connection mattered, they are wondering what they should do with the truth they now carry. They understand they cannot simply return to life pretending nothing has changed. Every honest reflection brings them back to the same conclusion: you were never the person they assumed you were. You were stronger, kinder, more genuine, more patient, more compassionate. Listen to this because this message is for you. Real transformation always begins when someone stops asking, "Was I right?" and starts asking, "What is true?" That shift has already begun inside their heart. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this right now because another quiet moment is approaching. Soon they will encounter something completely unexpected, a familiar place, a meaningful conversation, or a simple reminder that causes everything they have learned tonight to come rushing back once again. This time they will not push those feelings away. They will allow themselves to sit with them honestly. They will realize that every new truth has led to the same undeniable conclusion. Your heart has been one of the greatest sources of peace they have ever known. My beloved child, peace is never accidental. It is one of the clearest signs that a heart has encountered something genuine. Listen to this because this message is for you. Continue walking forward without fear. Continue protecting the peace you have worked so hard to build. Continue offering kindness without expecting immediate recognition. Never change the goodness within you simply because someone else needed time to understand it. The truth always arrives at the moment it can be received with wisdom. Your soulmate has now crossed that threshold. They no longer see you through assumptions. They see you through understanding. They no longer remember you through confusion. They remember you through gratitude. They no longer question whether your heart was genuine. They know it was. And that certainty is quietly reshaping every dream they once held about the future. My beloved child, before this chapter closes, remember one thing above all else: never measure your worth by the speed at which others recognize your value. The light I placed within you was never meant to prove itself. It was meant to shine. Tonight that light reached a heart that had finally become ready to see it clearly. The truth your soulmate learned did not merely change their opinion of you. It transformed the direction of their own heart. Every misunderstanding has begun to lose its power. Every false belief has started to fall away. Every sincere memory has become brighter than before. Listen to this because this message is for you. The story is not ending tonight. It is only entering a new chapter, one where truth replaces fear, gratitude replaces regret, wisdom replaces confusion, and two hearts continue moving closer. Not because of fantasy or force, but because genuine character has finally been recognized for what it has always been. And what your soulmate chooses to do after fully embracing that truth will become the moment that changes everything they once believed was impossible.